Good morning. I don't know why I said it that way, but that's the way I said it. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, how are you? What the fuck? So, we've got our mortises cut in the stiles, and now I'm working out, today we'll do the tenons for the rails. And to do that, I have to get, first of all, I need to get my final length decided upon, how long the rails need to be. The mortises got to be just about exactly 2.5 inches deep. So let's say 4.5 inches total for the tenon length. So each tenon will be 2.25 inches long. Okay, so there's 4.5. Now the next factor I've got is the panel size. I can't get any bigger, and right now they are at 24 5/8. The rails are 6 inches. If I let in the panel 5/8 total, so maybe 5/16 on either side, that leaves 24 inches from the inside of each rail to the inside, from the inside of one rail to the inside of another, will yield me a 36-inch wide door. We'll just consider 24 on the inside of the stile, plus 4.5. So 28.5 is the length we want for our rails. Or at least we believe this to be true. So I need 28.5. These notches will mark where the tenons have to start. I can't cut here because there's way too much on this end to be a 2.5 inch or 2.25 inch mortise, or 2.25 inch tenon. So what I have to do is take a little off of this end and just make sure that this space falls somewhere in between to allow for 2.25 inch tenons on either end here. That'll guarantee it's right. So it sounds weird. It makes sense up here, which it probably should be more cause for concern than it is. Okay, so now we're starting to cut the shoulders for the tenons. We're ready to start those. Shoulders and cheeks. So the way I'm going to do this, every tenon is 2.25 inches long. All of these are through the same length. I've set up on the table saw, my fence is at 2 and whatever to make sure that it's on the outside of the blade is 2.25 on this side of the blade. Then I just got my miter gauge. And since these are non-through cuts, it's perfectly safe to use the fence and the miter gauge together. If this were a through cut, you wouldn't want to do this. You'd want to set a block here as an offset that doesn't make it to the blade. It's short of the blade, and that just leaves you a little bit of space over here for the offcut to spin or not get jammed is what you want to avoid. So for non-through cuts, fence is perfectly fine. You don't need a spacer. You could do. Yeah. So we're going to start at the top and get this top rail set. And I think, let's take a quick, that's 1.5 inches. And let's see where we are. A little more. And again, it's not crucial. Okay, we're going to go with that. And so all I'm going to do here is I'm not going to cut the entire tenon at this height. I'm going to cut the cheek cut for each of them, and then when it comes time to waste away for the full, cut the shoulder cut for them. When it comes time to make the cheek cuts, I may use the bandsaw, I may use my dado head. It'll all depend on the depth that cut needs to be, how long it is, and how crucial the accuracy of it is. All right, I think I'm ready. This will do these first two cuts of 1.5 inches. And that'll put the tenon where I need it. And the idea is just I need the tenon located such that I can get this surface flush with the top of the door. Yeah, I think I'm ready. I'm going to start doing this. I think I'll pop in and out with explanations when I get to that point. But for the most part, we're just going to start cutting the cheeks for all the shoulders for all the tenons. This might be noisy in some spots. I'm going to leave the audio going in case I say anything profound. It's not going to happen. I think it's fine if I take these things to the bandsaw right now and get rid of this chunks, because there's no sense turning it all into sawdust anyway. That's fine. All right, so what I've done is I took my square and I just marked a line with the pencil here. I'm just marking a cut line that's going to delineate the length of our mortise or the width of our tenon. That way I can just run to the bandsaw real fast and I'll just slice all these little bits off. No sense turning those things into sawdust, and it'll help me with test fitting in a minute. So I'll bring you back in just a second. So first thing I'm doing is cutting all the shoulders, and then I'm going to switch it out and put the dado head in, and then we'll dial in our depth again. Yeah, I think that's going to work. So I'm just gonna go to town on these and just cut my right up against the fence only, and just make the one cut, and then go back and do the other cuts. Yeah, that's the plan. All right, more cheek cuts, more shoulder cuts. Dang it, I get the names messed up. Brr. All right, I think we are ready to go. We've got our dado head set to just about the same. It's a little, just barely, oh, wrong side, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, just barely missing. There it is. It's a very tight fit, so that's good. We're going to do all one face of each of these, just the same sides of each of these. And then I'll drop it so that the tenon will be a little thick, and then we can have some room to play around if I need to. I think we're ready to go. So I'm just gonna, this time I'm not gonna keep the audio, I'm just gonna go for it. So here we go. Okay, so those are cut on one cheek. Yeah, one cheek is cut. I've dropped the blade about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/16. A fair bit, more than I know I need. And I'm just going to take a tiny little glimpse of a pass right here, and then I'm going to see where it puts us on the in the part. So make a real quick cut. And then we'll go see how our thickness is here. Oh yeah, way thicker than we need. We're about a 1/16 heavy. Yeah, so we're gonna raise it a little bit. I'm just gonna sneak up on this here. But that should be spot on or very close to it. So hopefully everything's aligned the way I need it to be. And next up, we're just going to start cutting all these. Okay, so we've got tenons. Woohoo! Now we just got to make sure they actually fit the spot they're going in. Ooh, that's snug. That's good. I can deal with snug. And this one would go over here. Yeah, they are quite a bit on the snug. I will take snug because I can deal with that with a rasp or a file or whatever. And this little guy starts here. Yeah, definitely snug. It does go in. Yeah, that one's a really good fit actually. It's a little bit snug, but not too bad. And the tenon is a tiny bit long, but we can deal with that as well. And the bottom one here, yeah, this one, tenon is still a little oversized lengthwise and a bit heavy. That's good. Good. Okay, so now it's going to be the lovely, tedious task of fitting these little guys. And I think I'm just going to do it with some flat, maybe my rasp might be a little too aggressive. Maybe my coarse file. We'll decide which one is best here in a second. But we're basically just gently fitting these things together. So I'm going to get set up to perform the tedious tasks of making that fit. So I'll bring you back in a bit. Well, it's together. I just, after getting all of them, finically fitted, I just threw the whole thing together. It's the size of the door. It's a beefy little bugger. It weighs a lot too. It's going to be fun getting that hardware to work out. We'll see what I do there. So that's the mortise and tenons. The next thing I'm going to do, I believe, is probably cut out the arch in this so that I can get it profiled. I'll cut the arch and then I'll profile all the rails, and then I'll cut the groove in everything for the panel, and then I can glue it together. So the arch is easy. I've got a program ready to go on the CNC. I'm going to cut a template that'll just have the arch in it, and then I'll use that as my edge guide for the router. So let's get set for that. I'm going to take it apart here real quick. I may be able to do this on camera here. We'll see. It's pretty skookum. Go. Come on, buddy boy. There we go. It's a heavy little piece. One of my heavier articles of creation, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to take it apart. We'll start cutting a template for the arch, and I'll bring you back. All right, pretty simple. Just got a template in now. Ready, or got a blank in, ready to make a template out of. And just some 1/2 inch MDF. Just going to cut an arch, nothing fancy. So I'm just going to get it running, and we'll let you watch it do its thing. This will take very little time. Alright, we got our template cut off the CNC. That was fast, very easy, nothing to it. I'm just going to stick it down to the surface of our piece, and it's exactly the right length, so this will do nicely. And I'm going to put it in just a tiny little bit. So I grabbed double stick tape, but I did not bring it with me back here. Okay, get this out of the way so it's safe enough. Just Oh yeah, this will be plenty of tape. I won't even need this much, but it's here, so we got it. And a snip. And a couple of fingernail moments here. These are always fun to start. And then we'll peel that off. Find our spot here to stick it down. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit extra there. There we go. Just like that. We're stuck down. And I basically got the tips flush. Everything's pretty much flush. Okay. Now, all this has to get cut out. So I'm going to take that over to the bandsaw. I'll probably do it on that one. And we'll just cut close to the pattern without hitting the pattern. Without hitting the pattern. Without hitting the pattern, please. And then we'll take it over and flush trim it afterwards. I'm going to probably have to put a little strip down here to support the stock when it's on the router table, but we'll deal with that later. All right, bring it back at the bandsaw. Set up with a flush trimming bit and a pattern on the bottom. We did the little spacer guide to keep it even here. And we're ready to route away. We're going to have to do it in 2 passes, as you can see, because the bit isn't tall enough. But no worries. We can deal with that. I have dust collection going, but it's going to be kind of fruitless. But that's all right. Away we go. All right, so we're all set up for the flush trim, or not for the flush trim, for the decorative profiling. And we're going to take it in a few passes. So I'm going to just do a bunch at one pass, raise it, and then I'll do a bunch at that pass. But I just drew on the end of this where that profile is going to be, and it's looking like it's going to be perfect. So we're just going to go after it, and I'll bring you back when it's all completely done. Alright, so now I've got the dado set up to cut a groove that is exactly the width of my panel, thickness of my panel, and I got it set to cut the right depth. I've got the fence set so that I'm pretty sure these little guys will be centered nicely. And we're checking and double checking just to be certain. Looks very good. Looks like it might be able to go over just a teensy bit. And then we'll just run these. I'm going to have a different challenge altogether on the curved one. So I'm going to do a real quick, tiny little peck of a cut here and see just how well it looks. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Alright, I'm going to run these. I'm going to turn on the dust collector and stuff and get things going here. Alright, so our problem here is our little curved bit is not at all close to as stable as I need it to be because of the curve. So what I've decided, I think this will work, is I'll show you. I've got a solution. So because of that curve, I just need to support that curve, right? So I'm going to take a bit of double stick tape and I'm going to stand this guy up to find the side I want to put it on. I want to put it on that side. So I'm going to stand this guy up so it's level, or so it's sitting on the surface on the edges that I want it to. And then I'm going to double stick tape this piece to it, and thus giving me a straight spot along here to run on the table of the saw. So I got the double stick tape there. I'm just going to do this real quick here. And hopefully this works. We'll find out. I'll either be brilliant or it'll be brilliant. One of those two results will occur. Alright. Start by making sure we don't fall into the dog holes here, because that would mess me up. And find our little equilibrium spot of balance here. There it is, right there. Take this little guy and find our spot and cinch it down. There. Now it is stable, and I can take it to the table saw and I can run it without fear. I think. We'll find out. It's either brilliant or it's brilliant. Okay, so I have not changed a single setting on the saw because the exact same face runs against the fence like it did before. Now it doesn't tip. If I did this right, I should be able to tick that and see it go right where I want it. And then I can use this as my running it through surface. Fingers crossed, eh? Alright, let's find out if I'm centered or not, and then I'll finish the run. We just need to raise the cutter, because we're doing all the way through the arch. We want to go about 1 3/4 inches instead. And now we just hope things hold together. We're going to take it all in one shot and keep fingers crossed. Here we go. That worked really, really well. I am absolutely smitten with that joint. It isn't perfect, but it's damn good. It's maybe a 30-second too close to the fence, but you won't tell. You'll be on the other side of the door. Will not matter. Okay, so now we can pop our little spacer off here, and we have just finished the decorative treatments and the grooves for the. Oh, I should have done the stiles while I had it low. Oh well, that is a minor problem. I'm gonna drop the table, or I'm sorry, I'm gonna drop the blade, and I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna run the stiles through now to get them grooved properly too, and then we'll be able to assemble this damn thing. It's that time, boys and girls. It's time for a dry fit. We're gonna slip the top and bottom rails in, and the middle as well, I guess. The top and middle of the rails together. I want to make sure something ain't quite on here. Oh yeah, yep, I just have the faces reversed is all. Yep, that's the right one. I didn't happen to mark this one, is why. Where's my mallet? Got to mallet. And that is about right there. Okay. I'm going to mark that now so that I don't forget how it goes together. Yeah, I did reverse those, didn't I? Okay, interesting. 2 marks on this side. Take this one. Yes, indeed. Put this one in here. Actually, let's pull that out. Let's put the panel that goes in here in first. Big panel first. And there's an upside here. This should just slide on in. It's a little bit snug here at the moment. So let's try to get it into our rail first. There we go. There it is. It is fully seated into the rail, fully seated into the stile. Awesome. Okay. Now we can take our center, 2 lines, 2 lines. This will be a snuggie. Oh yes. Get our guitar mallet. Easy. Like that. Like so. Okay, there's a little, I think I'm bottomed out there, which kind of bugs me. I'm not bottomed out here is the thing. Might have to tweak that just a little. Okay, we're ready for the small panel now. We like it on this side. Yeah. Okay. Mallet time. There we go. We're seated that way. Well and truly seated that way. Let's put the bottom on it. Bottom rail plugs. Yeah, I think we're going to have to. This might not actually be in. Now that I'm looking at it here. There we go. That's better. That'll close up that gap. I thought that was a better fit than it was. Now we can give that a little bit of room here. Got a little tiny bit of wiggle room there. Put our bottom rail on it here. 2 lines. 2 pencillettes this way. And on. That's pretty cool. It's a panel so far. That one. Now let's get the top rail, or the last stile on it. I'm going to pull it towards me. Hopefully not on me. That would be a little too towards me. A little too close. I'm going to have to pull the camera back here. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to give you guys a bit better view. All right. Last stile goes on now. This is an easy-ish task, although I've got the panels to contend with now too, so we'll see how well that do. That side did okay. That side is doing fine, and so is that side. All right, I want to make sure it doesn't fall. We've got ourselves a frickin' door, boys and girls. That's cool. That came out all right. A tiny bit of dingage where I was pounding. Dang it. Get a little more careful with that. I'm going to end up rounding that over anyways, but yeah. Could have done without making the mess. All right. All right. This side looks great. So does the other side. This thing is a damn heavy door, though. That is cool. That is freaking cool. It's beyond awesome. I made a freaking door. All right. I need to do some more things before I glue it because I want to make sure I clean up the panel. I think I'm going to pre-finish the panel even before it goes in. The only other pieces left is the stile decorative treatment. So I need to cut, 8 pieces of decorative trim that I'll probably cope in. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to cope it in. But otherwise, This door's ready to get glued up. Freaking cool. I made a doa. Awesome.